Welcome back to the Football Terrace and the Done Deal Show. We're live and sponsored by the brilliant people at One Football. You can download their app now, free of charge, in the App Store or Google Play. Scan the QR code on my screen or click on the link in the description below. And I do genuinely mean this. It is the best one-stop shop for football out there. Aggregates all your news, stats, statistics, live scores, even live Serie A games on there. So go and get it downloaded right about now. Lots to talk about on the show today. Mauricio Pochettino to Chelsea. Agreement done. We're looking ahead at Arsenal versus Man City later. And we're going to take a look at Man United and Spurs. Will Bruno Fernandes be fit? Will the Harry Kane transfer stories play a role in the game tomorrow night? And we're going to take your calls live on the air this afternoon. But of course, make sure like buttons are hit and that you're subscribing and have the bell notification turned on as well. But the first and main story to talk about, to jump into, is the ex-Spurs boss, Mauricio Pochettino, reaches an agreement with Chelsea. That is a verbal agreement has been reached with the Premier League side Chelsea. The story goes on to state that the Blues have been searching for their new manager since sacking Todd B. It says things have not been any better under Lampard, though, with Chelsea, who are currently 11th in the Premier League, losing all 4 matches since the legendary manager arrived. The Chelsea hierarchy are now closing in on their preferred candidate, which is the former Tottenham and Paris Saint-Germain boss, Mauricio Pochettino. A full verbal agreement has been reached. Contracts are currently being have already been drawn up, are being reviewed by legal teams, and it is believed at this point by most media outlets very well connected to Chelsea that Poch will be the new manager. That deal will happen and it will get over the line. So, of course, I want to get your instant reaction to this. I want to know what you think about it, how you feel about it. But that is done. Agreement in place. It's highly unlikely to fall through at this moment in time. There's always the distinct possibility it could. But is he the right individual? I want to know. I want your thoughts. For me, I always felt Luis Enrique was the guy. I always felt Luis Enrique was going to be the individual that they would go for. The most experienced, the most accomplished, the better of Nagelsmann, Poch, and of course, Luis Enrique. I really thought they were going to go for him. I thought second place would be Nagelsmann because of the Leipzig connection at the club, the RB connection, the board who it's made up of. But he seemingly stepped away because he didn't want to be part of the interview process, which is very intriguing in itself in many ways. He's very much stepped back because of that. And maybe that's an indication of how he views himself. And I'm not being funny. Actually, look at Bayern Munich right now. Since he's left, their drop-off has been quite severe. I think they've lost 3 games since he left, and maybe only lost 3 in the entire season with him. I did see that. Did you just say legendary manager? About who? I didn't call Poch a legendary manager, did I? Luis Enrique. I think Luis Enrique is I think he's a proper manager. Maybe I used the wrong word. Let me know who I said it about. Let me know. Terry, are Chelsea making a mistake in the long-term appointment of Poch? Look, you all know my stance on Poch. You've all been watching me a long time. You've all been watching me a long, long time. I think he will play beautiful football at Chelsea. I think he'll get the best out of some of these youngsters, but I do not believe he's the man to win them Premier Leagues or Champions Leagues. That is a big question mark over his head. I think when you look at Luis Enrique, this manager's won the big trophies. He's won big leagues. I don't care about Premier League proven as managers. Most of the Premier League's greatest managers have done it without being Premier League proven before they've arrived. So it's a nonsense. It's a nonsense of an argument. It really, really is. So for me, I wanted to see Luis Enrique as a neutral. As a Man United fan, I'm kind of happy Poch has gone there. But they will play some really good football. If he ends up winning major trophies, then my opinion is wrong. I'll hold my hands up and say, yep, absolutely the right appointment. Terry, I believe this guy can do something. That's from football, Hope Football. He could. He could do something. There's no doubt that Poch could deliver. I'm not saying 100% he can't. I'm saying I don't believe he will. There is a fundamental difference in those two things. It's just Luis Enrique hasn't managed a club football for like 8 years. Yeah, I know he hasn't managed for 8 years, but he's still a top class manager, in my opinion. He really, really is. Luis Enrique wants a stable club, not the chaos at Chelsea. That's fair. I understand why Luis Enrique doesn't want the job. I completely get it. It's a big risk. Whoever goes in there right now, it's a big risk. It's a big risk because they've made mistakes with sacking Tuchel. They've made mistakes with appointing Potter. They've made mistakes in bringing in Lampard. In the same time, they've spent £600–700 million on players. Who are those players for? Do they really align with the next manager's ideologies? Can they keep afford to spending that way? They have to get this appointment so right, Chelsea. Otherwise, they run the risk because of FFP of being in a financial black hole. Poch may not win, but he will make us better. That's true, Young. He may make you better. But Chelsea being better isn't good enough. Chelsea winning trophies, clubs, Chelsea, Man United, Liverpool, City, Arsenal. The only commodity that we use to measure success is winning the major trophies. If you're not winning trophies, if you're not competing for the league at the very least, there is no success. I don't care how beautiful the football looks. I don't care about the football purists. I don't care about people that care about the eye test and aesthetics. At the end of the day, you could be the best looking football team in the world. You could play the best football. If you ain't winning the trophies, you're in the friend zone. You are not scoring. You are sitting there and pulling your own one at the end of the day. It's as simple and as straightforward as that. As much as I want to believe he will do something, he's got a record of bottling is concerning. His ceiling looks to be out of depth at Chelsea. But this is what I will say on contrary, and I'm going to be a bit of a, it may sound slightly hypocritical, is that this is a great opportunity for Poch to prove he's that guy, you know, to prove he's the dude, to prove he's, that he's the right guy for the job, that he's got the minerals to make it at the highest level. That's the one thing about this is that you have to look at and say, well, sorry, I was just reading something while I was speaking. There, I got myself confused. That's one element of this, playing devil's advocate, looking at it from the other side, being fair. That's what you have to focus on because he's got the chance here to prove us all wrong. Terry, is Poch ball too predictable to be effective? No, I don't think it's too predictable. I don't think Poch loses because of his style of football. I think he loses because I don't know if he has the minerals to get over the line. And everybody knows that I care about the mental side of football profusely. I think it's a very, very important part of the game. So, yeah, from my point of view, it's nothing to do with his style of play. So I'm just updating the title of the video here. Give me a second. Sorry, I'm just thinking that. I'm thinking I want to change a word. I'm not sure what I want to change it to. I've done it now. There we go. Sorry, my people. I just wanted to change something that I wasn't happy with in my title, and I've just done it now. Super chat here from Red Wolf says, Poch is the manager Chelsea need right now. Chelsea right now needs stability and to be on a and have been, I think you mean, on a downward spiral since Sarri was manager. I understand that, and I think that's a fair take. I think that is a fair take. And the one thing with Poch, he'll be able to handle the pressure better, I think, than Graham Potter. Graham Potter very much had an identity crisis when he arrived. He very much kind of came in and was just mentally all over the place. You could tell that by the change in style, the haircut, the fade, the clothing. It was an identity crisis because he didn't feel like he belonged at that level of the game. And he really crumbled because of it. Emmanuel here says people saying he bottles when he had to work with bums at Spurs, who, if we are being honest, were a two-player team. And that's a fair response, I think. However, for me, it was the manner of performances in finals and semi-finals. even at Paris Saint-Germain, I know he took over and they were slightly behind Lille, but with the resources he had and his ability as a manager, he should have been catching them. They lost so many games, unexplainable games under Mauricio Pochettino at PSG. It was crazy. But I know there's a counter argument. There is Spurs are bottlers with or without Poch, so it's not on him. And everybody kind of fouls at Paris Saint-Germain, so why would you label that a Poch? That is a fair argument, and I have no response to that. My view is now I have a belief about Poch. Prove me wrong at Chelsea, and I'll change my tune. I'm always somebody that can be proven wrong. I'm strong enough to admit if I get something wrong, and if he proves to be a capable manager at the highest level, then I'll hold my hands up and say I was wrong about that. It's as simple and as straightforward as that. But to give you the news again, Chelsea and Poch have reached an agreement. Contracts are being reviewed, and they believe by the end of this week, they will announce him as the new manager. No clear word yet as to whether or not he'll come in now or at the end of the season. But by the end of the week, it is believed that an announcement will happen and Chelsea will essentially sign Poch as, their new manager. Now, there is another little bit of an update I want to give you as well before we go on to the Arsenal chat. Bruno Fernandes injury update. Is he going to be back for Manchester United this week? Well, the manager has essentially said, we have to see. We don't know yet. He hasn't trained. He's only set out for 3 games this season. So let's see what happens. However, there have been reports that have come out today from journalists in and around the ground that he's been seen walking without his crutches and without his protective boot. So no word yet as to whether Bruno Fernandes is training today. He has to train today to be able to play tomorrow. Personally, I'm quite hopeful that he'll be there. Bruno Fernandes has got a brilliant recovery rate, very rarely misses games. So I'm someone that thinks that he will turn this around and he will be available. But more on that a little bit later in the show. We're also going to talk about Harry Kane to Man United. United are now the outright favourites to bring him in and to sign him this summer. And it is, look, I'm not going to lie, there's a definite connect between the game tomorrow night and this story as well. And we will also be speaking on the show about tonight. And this was a great headline I read on One Football today, that time for the Gunners to leave the emotion behind them in this seismic Premier League title. And I think that's very important for tonight's game for Arsenal, to drop the emotion, to play the game, to ignore the hype, and to just go out there and maybe be the very best Arsenal they can be. The Arsenal that we've seen this season really deliver in the Premier League. And I'm hopeful, very, very hopeful of, what's the right way of saying this? I'm very, very hopeful of a great game tonight. That's what I want, is a great classic game. This here says, as long as we trim our squad and keep the right players, I can see Poch being successful. He just has to have that Chelsea mentality. And Todd, that's the big question. Does he have the Chelsea mentality? Does he have a winner's mind? Will he stop at nothing to win? Or will he just plant those seeds of doubts into his players and into his squad at the wrong time, at the wrong moments in games? That's the big question. Gav here says, not EPL Poch has managed in. More sides competing and better managers. Hope he'll win things, but if not, set us up to say company in the future. And look, maybe he'll do that. You know, I don't think that's necessarily what Chelsea are kind of hoping for. They want him to also deliver the trophies, but at the very least, he may just improve you enough. Marcy here says, "Come on, you Gooners!" from a United fan. Listen, every Man United fan on planet Earth wants an Arsenal win tonight. It is funny how I got dog's abuse a month ago for saying that we shouldn't be celebrating City doing well this season. We should be pushing for Arsenal because of the treble and the three-peat. I was laughed at, lambasted. Now it's all anybody's talking about. It's who all the airwaves are talking about. And I know that's why you guys tune into the terrace. We're always ahead of that curve. But yeah, you're right, Marcy. Every Man United fan tonight is an Arsenal fan. If you're not, I genuinely challenge how much you love the club. I know for some of you, bantering Arsenal fans means a lot, but bantering Arsenal fans comes a slim second, a massive second. In fact, it doesn't even come second. First is my club. Then comes about 10 other things, then banter and Arsenal fans. But that's just me. Maybe I'm a little different. Come on, City from a Chelsea fan, 4-1 City is what Todd Miller says there. And I get that. Right, I'm going to bring out man like Tom Little and KJ to come chat to us now as well. Make sure you're hitting the like and the share button for us, people. Gents, welcome back to the show. Welcome.
Terry.
Yo.
Arsenal need to do a flipping job, bruv. I have been in limbo. I was in limbo for the longest time. You know, we've had conversations where I'm like, you know what? I'm not too sure. Right now, I don't care. It's like, who do I want to punch me in my face? My mom or my dad? Like, I don't want either, you know? So I was sitting there in limbo. Then I saw what Man City did to Bayern Munich and the fact that I had Sheffield United in the semi-final of the FA Cup. I was like, you know what? This trouble is actually happening. It's actually on. And forget this. No, I can't have that. So I need Arsenal to do something for me. Then I need them to come through. I honestly do. And Arsenal fans, don't get it twisted. Some Arsenal fans are like trying to feed off the energy of other fan bases, you know? Like we had a conversation with one of the guys in the group chat where he's saying, we're doing this for the football world. Like we can do this, you know? That's like, bruv, ain't no one out here supporting Arsenal because we like Arsenal. No, it's still bun you, bruv. It's still on that. You know what I'm saying? We still don't like you. But as a Man United fan, this is more of the enemy of my enemy is my friend. You guys need to do your job so you can win the league and we can also save ourselves from seeing Man City do a three-peat and potentially a treble. I know the FA Cup is on our hands, but if one trophy gets knocked out of their hands before that point, I think it might be a bit easy, you know what I'm saying? So Arsenal, please come through. I don't like you, man. But the one time I want you to win and do something special, do not let me down. I'm not an Arsenal fan. I'm not used to the 20 years of flipping pain that you've put them through. I'm used to United's pain. Arsenal pain is new to me. Please don't do that to me, bro. Please. Just get the job done. Even a draw. Just something. Give me something.
I hear you on that. How do you see it going, Tom, tonight? How do you see it going at the Etihad in what, just under 3.5 hours time now?
Yeah, that was a lovely monologue by KJ, which will be disregarded completely when Erling Haaland put Man City 2-0 up inside 25 minutes. This is what they do. This is what Manchester City do in these title deciders at the Etihad, with all the momentum behind them. They will be able to smell blood because Arsenal haven't won in 3. Arsenal, this is the first time in this situation. This is a Man City team that haven't dropped points in the league since, I think it was the 18th of February when they drew 1-1 with Nottingham Forest. They have not dropped points since then. This is a Man City team that knows how to get the job done when they need to get the job done. And that is exactly what I believe that they're going to do today. No matter how much Arsenal... I've seen the narrative change now. Arsenal fans trying to say, oh, well, regardless of what happens, it's been a fantastic season. Get in there. I'm so proud of the boys. Woo. Get the participation medals out. Come on, then. Is that what we're celebrating now? Where's all the chest gone from 2-3 weeks ago? Why is it all just vanished? You got to keep that energy. At the end of the day, I just see this being... I mean, our teams have been through it. We've had it done 2-1 at the Etihad. You have Vincent Kompany's header in 2011 with Hughes lot. When Man City are in a title side at the Etihad, back in the season, they know how to get it done. And I don't see it going any differently today. I see it being 3-1, 4-1 City. Statement win.
I hear what... Right. Did you know what it is, right? Nothing you've said there, Tom, is wrong. I was just chatting to my brother before I come online. Because we've got to go and see a guy about a dog. I tried to buy my kid the dog, and there's a guy out there committing fraud. He hasn't actually defrauded me, but I managed to find his address. So we're going to go pay him a visit on Saturday. It's going to be fun. Not to hurt him, just to record it all. Might even put it on the internet. Anyway, I was chatting to my brother, and I'm in the mood for a little bit of Barney. Do you know what I mean? But like, I was chatting to my brother, and he's like, Arsenal will walk it. City will walk it tonight, bruv. And remember, my brother's got no dog in this fight. He's a Leyton Orient fan, so he doesn't...
He's happy as chips right now, you know what I mean?
They won the league. They got promoted. He only got back from Mansfield at like 2 this afternoon. He was at the game. But he's like, nah, City will do it easy. And my other brother was on the phone, we had a joint call, my little brother. And he's like, yeah, easy. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. Everyone's right. But that's the only ounce of hope I've got that everybody's writing Arsenal off. And when I say my hope, is because as much as Man United can stop the treble by beating them in the FA Cup final, we can't stop the three-peat. And I don't want that either. I'm being really, really greedy. I don't want the three-peat to happen either. And with you, so for me, I'm holding on to this notion of hopefully, because everybody's writing them off, it gets into the heads of those City players a bit and Arsenal do something. But I'm talking 1% hope. You know, that legitimately 99% faith, right? That's where I'm at, right? But on the flip side, with what you said, KJ, I know why Man United fans are now starting to take more notice of it, because the mainstream media started talking about it. Trending on TalkSport every day, trending on Sky every day, articles about it. Now it's being rammed down everybody's throats that not only are they going to do, could they do a treble, but that it would be better than Man United's. Suddenly Man United fans care. And I just sometimes sit there and think, why does it take the Daily Mail and TalkSport to make Man United fans realize what's going on? Like, for me, I'm annoyed at the big Man United fan account. They should have been talking about this 3 months ago. We should have been putting as much positive energy towards Arsenal as we could have done to help them, because I genuinely mean this. Like, in these circumstances, an enemy of my enemy is my friend. And right now, we need Arsenal to get through. The laughing and bantering them, I've never understood it. It's like, bro, they're doing us a favor. They're doing us a favor.
It's that, Terry. The banter, the one-upmanship, the tribalism blinds people from the bigger picture. It's one thing to realize what's happening and sitting back and be like, you know what, both of the outcomes suck, so I'm just not going to comment on it. But to actively like be blinded by the banter, be blinded by, oh, I can say this to Arsenal fans because they failed. I can say this, bruv. We've failed more than them if they lose the league. We, United, have failed more because we've allowed our rivals to do a three-peat treble.
Exactly, and that's why, like, it's the lesser of two evils to a certain degree. But it's like when rivals say to us, "But who have Man United actually beat to win the cup and get to the final?" Yeah, we've beaten all the shit little teams, and that's their words, not mine, that knocks you knobs out. It's a bigger L for you to laugh at us for winning it than it is the other way around. And by the way, Tom, I've got a big bone to pick with you later. Liverpool are going to catch Man United this year. You must have been drinking on that stream. I've been getting called out for days. Who actually said it? Who actually said it? Firstly, watch our damn shows. Secondly, that little scout.
This little
we will get onto that a little bit later in the show today. We will get onto that a little bit later. We have a super chat here that says Terry about to put a guy in the spiff.
Oh,
yeah, I mean, in fairness, I know that. Do you know how I know they're committing fraud? He's like, can you pay the dog up front? I've had to lose a little bit of money to do this. I said I paid a deposit. I paid £30. Dogs are grand, right? This guy's a good fraudster though. He's actually got the dogs because he FaceTimed me and the dogs are there. But then he said to me, "But to take them now by law, you have to have an insurance policy for the dog." I said, "Oh, okay, I'll get one. I'm going to insure. I'd always insure a dog anyway. But I can get it done for you, and you just pay me." Part of me was like, if you show me the policy number and I'll run it through. But then he sent me the name of this lady and her bank account. He goes, "You got to pay her." I said, "Who's she?" He went, "She's the cashier at Pet Plan." I said, "I ain't giving no money to her. I'll give it to Pet Plan." Like, I knew what he was doing, right? I'm not being dumb. And in the end, right, I said to him, "I'll pay it on Saturday when I come to see the dogs." Sent me his address. All pretty much looks legit. But obviously what I'm going to do is I'm just going to record the whole thing and see how it goes down. Because this guy, in my opinion, is just taking money of lots of people. He probably will sell the dogs, but he's just going to take loads of money of lots of people, and then loads of people are not going to end up with a dog. And I just fancy exposing him because he's trying to rip
Panorama Terry,
money.
bro.
Panorama Terry. I was laughing on the phone. I'm like, this guy doesn't know. He doesn't realize it. I used to run the complaints, the fraud department in the complaints section of the bank. So I come across these things all the time. And I'm like, this dude, man, this dude. Anyway, yes, I'm going to put him in. I'll be very sensible, though. I'm not going to do anything illegal. I'm just going to turn up and film him. And then I might put his internet on the... No, I'm not going to put his address on the internet. I won't do that to him. But I might put him on Rogue Traders or something. You know that Rogue Trader program? Yeah. Rogue Traders. Put him on that. Then what I might be a hero. I might steal and rescue all the dogs from him. Do you know what I mean? Like Superman. Like a B-Tech Superman.
Flipping Disney, bro. What the hell is this?
Man. That's what I might do. And like run off with them all. And whatever else. And that. But anyone wants to come along with me as a backup to film it, feel free, DM me. We'll all do it together.
Bring through the man then with some insurance weapons. Not to actually go out and hurt him, but just in case he wants to get a bit funky.
Well, in my car, I carry a toolbox in case my car breaks down anyway. So
yeah.
And I do have me and my kids like to play baseball. I've got baseball stuff in there as well, just for the kids when we go out playing. So yeah, so I don't have any.
Terry's got his mask. He got ski mask and tape and rope.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I wasn't meant to say about that.
Yeah. I better take that out. I better take that out. Watch Tom change his mind after West Ham is what Joshua Jack says here.
To be fair, my point was heavily in reliance on us winning every game.
Your point was heavily induced by alcohol. We know this.
Minorly induced by alcohol.
And
majorly induced by sudden confidence.
Yeah, and major copium as well, because he knew it's over. He knows it's over. He knows.
There we go. Terry, I want to make a bet with you. If Man City do the treble this season, since I'm American, you have to do a show in an American accent. No, but I ain't taking that bet because okay, if they don't though, then what do you do? You need to tell me the counter bet, like your forfeit, because I can't even do an American. Can you imagine me doing a show in an American accent?
Just get
I would do one like I'd probably like copy like sort of a Southern cowboy or something, or like a hillbilly. Do it in a hillbilly's voice. That would be a good one. That would be a fun one to do. But there we go. Arsenal are getting smoked tonight, is what Blue Viper has got to say here.
Oh, you're a Man City fan. You can say that. Fans literally stop predicting Arsenal losing. No, I haven't seen in ages, Terry, and I haven't said it in a while. We haven't seen Arsenal judge. You know why? Because everyone's been like basically saying they're going to win games. Now it's game. Remember, guys, Arsenal judge. The moment we start to doubt them to the point where they can never win, that's when they kick in and get a freak result that we don't expect. So, guys, they're winning tomorrow. Or tonight, sorry. They're winning tonight.
Chike says, if they don't, I'll buy an Arsenal jersey. And by the way, what's that profile picture I see there, Chike? Doing your thing, your little Rizza. Do you know what I'm saying? Man's out there with a lovely lady. I like that, Chike. Nice. Airbud Terry, 101 Dalmatian Rescue Squad. Yeah, that's what it might be like. Yeah. Like the new version of 101 Dalmatians, but for staffs. Because of course I'm white trash. I'm buying a staff. I love a staff. They're good dogs. They're great around kids. That's why. And then another person like was selling one on the same website, and they're sort of sending me pictures and photos. And this is what I reverse Google image check them, and they're just taking off people's Instagrams. And I'm like, oh, there's so many fraudsters out there, just out here robbing working class people of their money. I might start a new thing on the side of the terrace, like investigating fraudsters. That'd be fun. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, I go Terry Doolittle. Yeah, a little bit like that. Winter Surfer.
Yup.
Mauricio Pochettino in. What are you saying?
First of all, just to KJ's speech earlier, KJ, you do know that hundreds of people have got FPL points riding on Haaland in captaincy this week, right? So you coming out asking for it's just disgrace, absolute disgrace. But
I haven't played FPL in a while, so I forgot about that.
With Poch, I think it's a good appointment. I think it's out of the choices and the stories that come out, it makes the most sense. I don't think they wanted Enrique, because what I read about Enrique was that he basically came in and said, you bought all the wrong players. I want to spend another 400 or 500 million and get rid of the ones you've already bought. So, and Nagelsmann didn't want to go through the process. So I'm happy with Poch if he signs. I think, yeah, it'd be interesting to see who stays and who goes now. So in the squad, that's what I want to see. Because I'd rather have a lot of outgoings than incomings this summer. We need to do that. We've got like an NFL.
You need to keep the strong squad. Chelsea core. Mason Mount, Conor Gallagher. Make sure that clubs like Liverpool don't go and buy them. Make sure you keep your strong core.
You talk about fraud, Terry. Once we rinse them to Liverpool for over 100 million, they can do us in the summer. So we'll be fine with that. So.
Go on.
I've not actually been able. Oh, go on.
Listen, I'm excited for what he can do. Like I said, I know he didn't win anything at Spurs, but that's just Tottenham tax for me. He did build, though, the most exciting Spurs team I've ever seen in the Premier League. Like, in terms of the way they play football, the consistency and stuff like that. It'll be just how what's going to help him next season. We're only going to play one game a week. So he'll be able to put his plans in and his philosophy on a bit more. It's who can who's going to be able to step up and actually do that. So I think it's exciting. It's exciting, and I'm glad they're going to announce it for the end of the season instead of like after the season, because then we can actually start to discuss things as a fan base. You know, how's it going to work? Who's he going to bring and who's going to stay and stuff like that. So I think it's exciting. So I'm pleased for it. So.
I've not been on shows to really talk about Chelsea. I have my opinion on Chelsea, and I think a lot of people have been bagging on Bowley, yeah, and saying, "Oh, he doesn't know what he's doing. He's crap. He's going to send Chelsea into the abyss." Blah blah, all these things. But in the same breath, they will say, "Give managers time, give players time." So in that same kind of thought process, surely you need to give ownerships time. He's new to football. Of course he doesn't know what he's doing because he's new to football.
Yeah.
He's trying to do something different. It's not worked out right now. So to say that he's a failure already is a bit mad, in my opinion. I feel like he's got football people in charge now. You can't expect football people to come in 6 months after he started to do what he was doing and then expect it all just to click in like that because now he's got football people. They also need time to make the correct decisions.
Yeah.
Their recruitment. I've got to reveal. The recruitment has been questioned.
Yeah.
I think the recruitment has been decent actually. It's been, it looks scattergun right now, but their biggest mistake was not getting rid of players. So you keep it on to the Pulisic's, the Ziyech's, the not getting a backup right back for Reece James this season, keeping on to Cucurella. Those are the mistakes. That is the biggest mistake. And then also, actually the biggest mistake was sacking Potter. Because
if you told me Lampard was the answer coming in, sacking, and I'd keep
listen, you got him in. You brought him into this whole mess that you're trying to sort out. No manager can do anything with 32 flipping players, bruv. Yeah. You've got the retirement home and the preschool all together in one place. What person can work with that? No one can. So I was thinking, if he made it to the summer, then you get rid of a load of players. I think that's one of the best places to actually judge him off. But I got rid of him. Cool. That's their decision. Fine. They're bringing Lampard, which is mad. That's like us sacking Ten Hag and then bringing back Ollie. Like it don't make no damn sense. But Poch is, I agree, the best appointment that you've got. You got a lot of young players like a Mudryk, like Madueke, like Enzo, Malo Gusto to come in, and Cuckoo to come in.
Yeah.
You've got Badia Shield already there as well.
Yeah.
Chelsea are actually not in a position as bad as we think. I think everyone's jumping the gun because, again, the banter, get it in, all the stabs, all the jabs. But, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years time with a new DM, maybe a new, if Malo Gusto kicks off, with a centre-back partner for Badiashile. And a striker, most importantly, and a striker.
Goalie.
I hear that. It's why I keep saying the same thing. I'm not totally sold on Poch. Everyone knows my view on him. But this is key. I think if this appointment goes wrong and things get worse, then it could take 2 or 3 years to fix it, because you could end up with a squad that's bloated. If you kill these young players and they're hard to sell, or you can't get them back to their best, if the ownership get too involved again, you might find no one wants the job. It's not Roman's Chelsea. But if they get this right, Chelsea, and that's where I want to be balanced, if they get this right and the players you mentioned, KJ, the Mahalo and Mudryks of this world come alive, a number 9, listen, Lukaku might come back. But under Mauricio Pochettino, Lukaku might do bits. I'm just saying he might do bits, right? So the point I'm making is, who knows next year? Everybody predicted Arsenal to have a stinker this year. Everybody predicted Man United to have a stinker this year. Nobody predicted that Newcastle United would be anywhere near the top 4, and look what they're doing. I've constantly called people out all year that have said Arsenal, if they don't win the league this year, they'll never be in a title race again. So I can't have those beliefs and at the same time say, that's it, Chelsea are done forever. I think that's crazy talk. Where it will go wrong is if the Clear Lakes and the Todd Bowleys, the owners have no idea how to run a club, if they keep putting their size 12 boots in the middle of things and don't let the football people run the football club. The reason I say that goes wrong is because I've seen it for a decade at Man United. That's what they need to get right. I do believe Poch is going to make you higher up the league table. You're definitely going to play better football. The only thing about Poch I'm not convinced about is getting you over the line to win a Prem. But top four, and I think and good runs in cups, I think he can do that with you. I'm just judging Chelsea based on the standards that you should have at the highest level, you know.
But football fans are always fickle. They're the most easy to please. All you need to see is progress, right? You need to see progress, whether that's playing well or getting the results. But it's an upward trajectory, okay, throughout the season. But by the end of the season, you need to see it. You need to go away and go, okay, so we may not have done this, but I can see where we're going. Yeah. And that was probably the problem with a lot of things with Potter, was that because of the overbloated squad and everything like that, it was like going downwards essentially. But football fans are easy. They don't have patience. No fans have patience. No matter what anyone says, any fan says, they have no patience whatsoever. Because after like 3 or 4 defeats in a row, they are done with everyone. But no, we just need to see progress. Yeah. That's all. Just progress.
Totally agree. Taku here says, I remember when the club was being sold and Terry said Chelsea scare people. Listen, I stand by everything I said in those videos. You're being too short-sighted. If they get this right and they spend like Roman, but they build a long-term project and they get that right, they are going to be a force to be reckoned with. Because Chelsea, yes, they won that Champions League, but they were a fading force under Roman Abramovich, and true Chelsea fans will tell you that. They didn't compete in a title race for 6 years. They were fading. Yes, they had that really good run in the Champions League under Tuchel. But what have they done since? That team deserved to be European champions. But no Chelsea fan was talking about them being the best team actually in Europe. They weren't even in the top 2 or 3 teams in England in that period. If they get this right, Chelsea are a scary, scary customer. The one thing they've done at Chelsea that I didn't expect them to do is I didn't think that Todd Bowley would have been running things for so long. I thought they would have had football people in or kept the Chelsea's football people in a little bit longer. But don't just write Chelsea off as a spent force that are gone forever, that are never going to win anything, and are never going to be relevant again, because for me, that's crazy. Abdul's here with us. How you doing, Abdul?
Yo, Terry, how you doing, man?
Abdul, come forward. Abdul, go back. Sorry, it popped in my head. What you saying, bro? What you saying?
Bro, I genuinely believe Chelsea are finished, bro. I genuinely believe it, bro. And Chelsea fans right now, bro, they're coping. But if you go back 2 years, when they won that Champions League 2 years ago, if you had told them everything that's happening at the club now, or let's say everything that's happening at the club now was another club, like a Manchester United, they would say that club is finished as well. Right now, they're just coping because they have to accept what's going on. They have no control or power over anything that's happening at the club. Terry, you keep saying, oh, if they get it right, if this works out. The matter of fact is, Terry, so far, Todd Bowley has gotten everything wrong. Everything wrong. So the whole concept of, oh, what if they get it right? It doesn't look like they're going to get anything right, because everything they touch is breaking. Everything they touch is going wrong. Like, Terry, like the whole... First of all, I made some points that I wanted to talk about Chelsea, because I feel like it's not being discussed enough, Terry. This whole concept of giving players 8 to 9 year contracts to comply with FFP, don't you think there's a downside to this? Like, especially when it comes to South American players like Enzo Fernandez, these guys are driven by money. These guys are purely driven by money, especially South American players. You're basically securing their whole career. Like, what hunger is there left when you're handing out these 8 to 9 year contracts? You're killing players' drives and their hunger. And not just that, Terry, bro.
So let's address that point rather than going for them all. So, watching Enzo Fernandez so far at Chelsea, you think he's lost his hunger and desire to come better?
He does not look like a 10% of the player he was at Benfica, bro. Not even 10%.
I get that, but that's because
he was there for 6 months.
But that's because Chelsea are not as well drilled and well oiled right now as that Benfica team were. I understand where you're coming from, but when you say that they've got everything wrong, I don't think many Chelsea fans would disagree with you. But we've seen, for instance, the Cronkies at Arsenal turn around how they're running the club and create a team that is winning again. But you don't think the current board and the new football decision makers at Chelsea can turn this round? You think that's it forever now? They're just done?
Terry, I got a better point for him. Take your own team. Abdul, take your own team in Barca and look at the position
we're
they've been
talking
in.
about Chelsea now. Let's stick to Chelsea.
No. This is to add on to Terry's. No, this is to add on to Terry. This is to add on to Terry's question. Take your Barca.
Why are we taking my team? Let's talk about Chelsea. My club is finished, bro.
Abdul, you see why you're getting triggered now? Because you know the example.
Changing the topic.
No, I am not changing the subject because you won't let me flipping finish because you're sensitive right now, Abdul.
I'm not sensitive.
Relax yourself for 2 seconds and then hear what I've got to say. Then you can respond. Take your team with the foolishness and the corruption and everything that was going on.
Yeah, we're proven innocent.
Wait. That happened with certain people who did get arrested. Look at that. If someone said to you that Barcelona are forever finished and they would never be able to get back to the top, would you have said yes?
Listen, I'm not expecting Chelsea fans to say and to agree with me. This is just my observation. And from what I'm seeing is that they have the difference between Barca and Chelsea, first of all, that you can't compare them because Chelsea are owned by an American businessman and an American investment fund who they have no control over. These guys are going to be there until they decide to sell. We can actually vote in whoever is leading our club, our president. So I don't know why you're comparing the two situations. I just wanted to talk about Chelsea, man. Please let me finish on the Chelsea because I wrote down some points.
Deflection. Go ahead.
I wrote down some points. Terry, for example, bro, like their transfer policy has been horrendous, bro. Horrendous. Like ludicrous signing. Terry, do you know Mudryk, who they spent like close to 100 million on? He has 30 professional appearances. 30 professional appearances before he joined the club, bro. Do you know how ludicrous that is? Sterling, Terry, I know all summer long you spent trying to hype up Sterling, saying he's not finished, or maybe he just needs a new scenery. Terry, he was on the decline at City. His attitude.
I understand where you're coming from. I don't think there's anything wrong with Raheem Sterling's attitude. Every time I see Raheem Sterling on the pitch, he's someone that's working hard. There's nothing about his attitude on or off the pitch, Raheem Sterling, that I think is
bro.
Well, okay, let me finish my point. I don't think there's anything about Raheem Sterling's attitude or behavior on or off the pitch that deserves criticism. That man has received so much nonsense from people online, so much nonsense from the media when he's never done anything wrong. He hasn't been that good this year at Chelsea, but nor has anybody. Marcus Rashford is having one of the best seasons of his career because Man United have become a better football team again. Last year, when Man United were absolutely on our ass, he, along with 90% of our squad, had absolutely awful seasons. That's because the team were performing badly. Now, for me, Raheem Sterling joined Chelsea at the worst time in the last 20 years, probably one of the lowest moments in the last 30, 40, 50 years of their history. One of the worst, maybe not the worst. I'm not a Chelsea historian. So I think to judge individual players right now, you've done it with Enzo Fernandes. You said he's regressed. I get your point about Mykhailo Mudryk. He hasn't played a lot of games. They paid a hell of a lot of money for him. But also, do you think, and I want to ask you this question, this isn't whataboutery, it's a genuine question. Do you think Arsenal are a finished club?
I don't think Arsenal are a finished club based on the fact that...
Thank you for answering that. The reason I ask you is they offered exactly the same amount of money as Chelsea.
Yes, I understand that, Terry.
So answer me the question, why are Chelsea wrong for spending that much money on him?
Yes.
Because they're a finished club, but Arsenal are not a finished club and they were willing to do the same thing. Clearly, two sets of scouts, two recruitment teams see a highly talented player that they were prepared to invest in. So that's the thing for me, what doesn't make sense here. Everything you said about Chelsea falling off.
But I can explain it. I can explain why there's a difference.
Why is there a difference in your opinion?
There's a difference because when it comes to Arsenal, first of all, Chelsea needed a number 9. I don't know why they needed another winger.
They've got one coming in now, haven't they've got Nkunku coming in.
Yeah,
so why they go buying
he's
one
not
now?
a number 9 either. He's not a number 9 either. But let me carry on. They didn't even need another winger. When it comes to Arsenal, Terry, first of all, Arsenal never, ever came, like they did not offer 100 million, bro, or anything close to 100 million.
They did.
Bro, the owner of Shakhtar confirmed exactly that both clubs offered the same. I just think the payment terms from Chelsea was slightly more favourable, but the offer was exactly the same.
Yeah, but did they offer Mudryk a 10-year contract?
And I get your point, Abdul. I get your point, Abdul. I get your point that, well, I'm going to take the owner of Shakhtar's word for it. because he wasn't trying to point score. He was just speaking. He was just talking normally. He wasn't trying to be a journalist trying to play one team off against another. But I understand what you said. The recruitment looks awful. I'm going to judge this recruitment over the next couple of years. I think what Chelsea have been through, they have made some bad decisions. But what they have been through, the forced take. Look how long Man United's takeover is taking. Now, people are acting like Man United's takeover is dragging its heels. It isn't. Listen to the financial experts. It was always going to take this long. But people think it's taking too long because they're comparing it to how quick Chelsea's was. Chelsea's was forced through because of what happened between the Ukraine and Russia. So again, a highly different situation. The mistakes that they have made some big mistakes, there's no doubt. But I think it's wrong to state that they are done and dead. Now, you could end up being right. Your guess could be right, Abdul. You could guess right and say, yeah, they're done forever. They're never going to compete again. I think that is too premature a statement.
But can I ask you a question, a counter question to that? Based on everything you've seen so far, because I generally believe that, Terry, you look at it like this. If you have money to spend, if you're loaded, if you're rich, that means that eventually you're gonna come out the other end success with some degree of success. But I'm generally of the belief, Terry, that spending money poorly is worse than not spending money at all.
Can I answer this, Terry, please?
I'll go to you in a second, Mo. What I would say to that, Abdul, to be fair, is 18 months ago, 2 years ago, Arsenal fans were having cronky out protests. Now they're in a Premier League title race because they made changes internally. They changed how they were operating. Doesn't mean they're the greatest owners in the world. So I've seen club ownerships in very recent times turn things around. So to suggest that Chelsea can't, whether they will or whether they won't is one thing. And this is the thing. You're making an absolute statement, which is nothing they do is going to turn this round. I'm 50-50 with you. This could go wrong for them. Like I've said, if Todd Bowley doesn't take himself out of the decision-making, if they don't let football people make football decisions, you could be right. But if they allow football people to make football decisions moving forward, of course they can turn it round. So for me, I just can't sit in this black and white world of because of one bad year and because of some early mistakes from the new ownership, they're done forever. That's too hyperbolic. But I want to go to Mo. Mo's going to have a little say on this now as well.
This is as simple as Man United 92 to 2012, very successful, the most successful English club in these 20 years. Chelsea between 2003 and now they have been the most successful club. And Man United have been down for 10 years now, but then right appointments, and they spent a lot of money in the wrong ways in these last 10 years. And every Man United fan will tell you this, but it looks like they're turning it around with the right decisions, the right appointments, and spending money in the right place. So Chelsea don't like the money. They're spending the money. They might just have made the wrong appointments. So for us to suggest that Chelsea are done, I disagree with what they did. I don't like what they did. I think they're ruining the market. And I like this downfall. However, to suggest that they're done because of 1 year, you're not looking at the history, my friend. Just look at we only learn from the history. We only see the history and make this and make assumptions about it.
This guy is a Barcelona fan.
Manchester United
of all the teams to say that you can't come back from the abyss, from all the teams, Abdul, I'm sorry, from all the teams, from all the teams to say that you can't come back from the abyss. Barcelona is not one of them. Barcelona
but you can't compare us.
Yes, you can, bruv. You guys spent money on Coutinho, spent money on Dembele, spent money on Griezmann, spent so much money on so many different players, so many different failed managers, Koeman, Valverde, all these different managers coming in, failed. You guys were in the pits for a good 5-year period, and now you've made the right appointment in Xavi. You've got Laporta back. Things are turning around. You're buying the right players. So you can't sit there and say Chelsea are finished when your own club have gone through the same thing, if not worse, than Chelsea, bro. No one in Chelsea has been arrested.
Yes,
I think we've got to start calling you Labdor today with the big L there.
No. Listen. I understand what you're saying, bro. But where I come from is that these are owners who can be very stubborn, bro. Like this is what you're not understanding.
Abdul, I do understand where you're coming from, and like I've said, nothing you've said is an impossibility. Yeah. But you're making a sweeping statement of fact that they are not coming back from this.
That's my belief.
And that's fair. But your belief has got no... So you think there's no way, shape, or form they can get this right?
I said this in the beginning. I think you misheard me. But I said, based on everything I've seen so far, because Terry, This is unprecedented. A team
Okay,
that has
so
spent.
answer
No, no.
my question for me though. So you don't
Yeah.
believe? Because I just like straight answers.
Yeah.
Do you believe they can turn this around?
Based on what I've seen, it's unlikely.
So there is a chance.
Of course, there's always a chance, bro. There's always a chance.
So you've
but
already,
based on what I've seen-
you've already yielded from the they're not coming back, no way. So now there's a chance.
No. Listen,
We're making
Terry.
progress with Labdul today. We're making
No.
progress with
Listen,
Labdul.
I
We're
said
making
from the
progress.
beginning. Listen, Terry. I
Right,
said from the
right.
beginning, based on everything I've seen and all the wrong decisions they've made, that I believe that they're finished. That doesn't mean they can't turn it around. But I've seen
Okay,
nothing to
I hear
suggest
that.
that
I
they
hear-
will.
Let me can I answer him
Go on.
one thing? Man City
Go
in the
on, Mo.
beginning, my man Abdul, Man City in the beginning, they went and bought Robinho. They bought every superstar they want,
Sure,
and
bro.
then they turned around Man City and made the right investment. And look at Man City now. Chelsea are not Man City. Chelsea already created history, my friend. They already have the global fan base with the one right appointment. The coach, they already have the squad. They did the hard part. They appointed young players. They got young players. Some of them won the World Cup, and they have the talent. The Badishilis, the Enzos, the Reece James, Chilwell. A lot of players are good with the experience. They just need the right manager and as someone to take over from Todd B in terms of decisions, and everything should go back in the right
That's
place.
the thing, Mo. You don't even need to go back far. Let's just go back to what are we in now? 2023. Let's go back 5 years to 2019 when Arsenal spent £80 million on Nicolas Pepe before they spent like 20 odd million on Socrates. They had Lichtsteiner coming in, Terrell, all these bums. They went and spent about 200 million on bums, and people were saying at that time, "Oh, Arsenal are finished." And I'm sure you were probably saying the same thing. Arsenal are finished. The signs are crap. Well. Look at them now when they all of a sudden the project works. There is something there with this Chelsea team where you're sitting there going, I can see what you're now trying. I agree. The summer transfer window had no structure, had no planning. It was just chucking money at players with big names and hoping that it stuck. But when you look at it now that you can see what they're more leaning to, young players, high upsides, but they're paying big fees for them. You've got Mudryk, you've got Fofana, you've got Badiashile. You've still got Reece James, Ben Chilwell's still there, who's solid. Enzo Fernandez. All these players who are there, who are going to be probably cornerstones of the next phase of Chelsea. That's in a much better situation than Arsenal were in 5 years ago, where they had a back four of Lichtsteiner, David Luiz, Socrates, and was it Monreal?
Kolasinac, Monreal.
Tom, they are in a better situation now. Not even like
and these ones are actually willing to spend the money now. These ones aren't going to sit there and make whoever comes in, Pochettino, spend 2 years developing the youth. They will allow for loans to do that. They will go out and buy Poch, some ready-made players, some players who are further along the schedule. To say that there is no way for it to happen, or you've not seen any signs on the pitch, no, but that's just because Chelsea have been awful on the pitch, but not because of the players that they've signed necessarily.
Yo, Tom,
Imagine
imagine your sample size being 1 year. Imagine your sample size being 1 year.
No. Listen. I agree with
not
a lot
even
of
a year.
I agree with a lot of what you're saying, but even on the whole Mauricio Pochettino signing, it's a horrific signing in my opinion. Because at the end of the day, Chelsea's ambition, this is what I think people are not understanding. They're trying to turn Chelsea into something that they've never been. Chelsea have never been a process club. Chelsea have never been this club where you're building slowly. They've been a club that wins here and now.
This is the thing, though, Abdul. This is the thing. Before Roman, they weren't that kind of club either.
Yeah, and they weren't successful either.
So, but the point I'm making is, if you'd have said to somebody in 2002, they're going to get a billionaire owner that's going to throw loads of money at it and sack managers every couple of years, everybody would have said, that won't work. I just think it's too premature to completely write Chelsea off. But Abdul, I appreciate your opinions on that. I really, really do. We had some super chats, I think, came through, the new ones or not. People with no face have no case, is what the Toad has got to say here. Emmanuel says absolute waffle, is what he stated in relation to what you said. I think you made some solid points. I just think you're making too much of a sweeping statement. But you make a lot of sweeping statements, Abdul, don't you? You love a sweeping statement.
Yeah, I like to what's it called? I like to really throw it, start an argument.
I'm gonna start
Yeah,
calling
yeah,
you
Sol.
Oliver Twist, bruv. You flipping
Yeah,
genius,
Oliver
bruv.
Twist. I saw you said something about Man United earlier as well. What did you say about Man
Yeah,
United?
like this whole underachievement thing, Terry. Can we just talk about it? Can we just like quickly?
Yeah, about us overachieving this season. Absolutely.
Achieving, not overachieving, achieving.
Yeah, I mean, so on that, where did you predict us to come this season?
Listen, Terry. It's not about that, Terry.
It
There
is.
we go.
Can I ask you a question?
And it's
Can I
answer done.
ask you a question, Terry? If
Yeah.
somebody predicts someone else to be horrific, and he turns out not to be horrific, does that mean he's overachieved?
Yes.
So one person, no. But let's just give you an example. Let's just say when Conor McGregor, because we all know who he is, fights Michael Chandler. Let's just say everybody, 90% of people predict Chandler to batter him. If Conor McGregor batters Chandler, he is overachieved in that fight based on what everybody suggested. And Man United were not predicted to come in the top 6 by most people, and definitely not to win a trophy. And the word overachieve, I'll read you the dictionary definition. To do better than expected. To do above the standard or usual that people expect of you. Now,
all right, Terry, let me ask you a question.
So let me
Do you think Ten Hag...
this season, yes, Ten Hag this season has overachieved. Man United in our entirety, of course, haven't overachieved because we're behind where we should be for a club that has invested what we've invested just in the last decade. However, Erik Ten Hag is not accountable for all the wasted money and all the foul projects that came before him. Otherwise, I mean, that means every new manager that joins Barcelona, you have to instantly attribute all the blame for the previous foul manager. And I don't think you do that because I know. Again, so Ten Hag, year one, he is not accountable for anything that came before him. He didn't buy. People go, oh, £500 million spent in the last 5 years before him. That's got nothing to do with him. He has invested what he has spent so far. His first season has been pretty successful, and it may end up being even more successful. We don't know the outcome.
Okay, but can I ask you, Terry?
Go on, mate. Go on.
Okay, do you think Ten Hag himself, when he took over the job and received the players that he did, I know they came in late. I know Casemiro and Anthony, they came in late. But if somebody had told him by the 1st of September, you have Casemiro, Anthony, Martinez, because you need to know, we didn't know who Martinez was. He knew who Martinez was. He'd coached him. Do you think for him, top 4 and a Karabuki Cup, where let's not talk about the run to that final, would have been seen as an overachievement by the manager himself?
Yes.
I think so. And when you talk about the squad that he inherited and the people that he got, he was happy with the players that he got. There's no doubt about it. But he's also dealing with the fact that 80% of have you seen the footage at the beginning of preseason when he was trying to get the players to do a passing drill and they couldn't do it?
Yes.
And you're all laughing at it, and that's exactly it. That is what he came into. He's their Ajax squad. They could do that with their eyes closed, with blindfolds on, with one arm tied behind their back. So he hasn't even been able to implement his complete style of football as of now. And there's no point of even trying, because even when we try and play out, if we try and play out of the back with our weak, with not our strongest team, look what happens. AKA Sevilla, we get caught out. We don't even have a goalkeeper that can play out properly from the back yet. You know, although he's one of the best stop shoppers in the world. So I do think he'll look, if he finishes in the top 4 with a trophy in this FA Cup final, win or lose it, I think he'll look at year one and he'll be like, right, I know who the players are that I can trust moving forward. I know now who I need in the summer to take us to another level. We're back in the Champions League. We've won a trophy. We're building a better mentality. But he also knows he's got to clear out. I would still say now, of this current squad, 60% of it will not be here in 2 years' time. So from my point of view, year one, he's done a fantastic job. And I think he'll be very, very, very happy with what he's achieved.
No, I agree. Come the end of the season, I think he's going to be pleased with what he achieved. I just don't think, based on the fact that Chelsea have been this horrible,
oh my God,
Spurs have been horrible,
so
that him finishing top 4 is an overachievement.
Great point of view. Chelsea and Liverpool losing games, how does that help Man United win their matches? Barring playing against them, how does that help me win?
No, it helps them get top 4.
Okay.
How?
Okay, so
because the requirements are less.
So Manchester United have got the same amount of points right now, 59, after 30 games, as all the teams that have made top four in the last 15 years have had at this stage. Last year, only once, in the Centurion season would you have been fifth with at this stage of the season with 59 points. But in the last 15 years, everyone on 59 points was inside the top four. Now, where your argument makes sense, if we were on 59 points and Liverpool were on 59 points and Chelsea were on 59 points, maybe we wouldn't be in the top four. But how far do you take that logic, Abdul? So I'm going to ask you this. Barca are not brilliant this year, are they?
No, they're not. They're not.
But does that mean you're only winning the league because Real Madrid have dropped off? Therefore, you're not going to celebrate it and say it's well done for winning the league. It's
no,
not
honestly,
is it not a real league title? Is it not a real league title? Is it not a real league title?
Honestly, bro, like if you talk to many Barca fans, they're not very happy with this season because
not happy. But is your season is it a real title or a fake title?
No, it's a real title, of course.
It's a real top four finish. Simple as that, mate.
Of course it is, but nobody's saying it's a fake top four. I'm just saying that based on Terry, you're telling me a manager who's taken over Manchester United and given 200 million to spent on, by the way, getting somebody who turned out to be a very excellent defender who we didn't know at the time, and Casemiro, who turned out to be excellent for you, is an overachievement to get top four. That's not overachieving.
You know what? I'm going to ask you a question, Abdul. I'm going to ask you a question. I'll give you a scenario. Mike Tyson now, old man Mike Tyson. He decides to go, you know what? Who's the best boxer in the world, Terry? Like heavyweight.
Heavyweight.
Tyson Fury.
Tyson Fury, okay. My old man Tyson now spends money on the best training camp, the best coaches, the best facilities, the best everything. He goes up against flipping prime Tyson and then beats him. Did he overachieve? Old man, yes.
Yes.
But how did he, when he's won so many world titles, and he used to be the best? He's won so many world titles and he used to be the best boxer in the world. How did he overachieve?
Because he's old now.
This is my point with Man United. We're not the same Manchester United. We're not the one that's dominating the flipping league every single year and coming second is a failure.
No, but you have finished.
We have not been that Man United for 10 years. So for 10 years,
you finished fourth many times.
10-year period, we have not been the best. So at some point, the base level of what you are considered has to drop. No one's calling it the best team in England for 10 years. So why is it now that we're trying to climb back up and we're saying that we've had a good season, we've overachieved, is actually, wait a second, but no, you're the best team in England. But that's not been the fact for 10 years. So which one is it? Are we actually really good and everyone's been lying for 10 years? Or we're being really crap like everyone said, and actually achieving top four and a trophy and maybe two is actually seen as overachievement because we're actually crap. Because you call us crap all the time. So which one is it?
No, but at the end of the day, you finished top four many times.
Sorry, Abdul, to cut in, but that's not an answer. Like, I get that there's a slight difference between Tyson and us because Tyson literally is old and Man United can buy new young players. But you say every season, Abdul, how crap we are. Then when we achieve something, we say we've overachieved. You say it can't be an overachievement because you're big bad Man United. There is a hypocrisy in there from you. What it actually comes down to is that Man United have done more than you expected us to do this year. Rather than being a man and saying, I got that wrong, you're trying to twist the narrative and move the goalposts and act like Man United have still turned around and underachieved, or at the very least just achieved. And listen, I'm not satisfied. My appetite is not satisfied with just this season. We go on again. Like I say every year, Abdul, football doesn't end in May. It's a cycle. It keeps going. Next year, winning one domestic trophy and finishing top four isn't enough. We've got to be in the title race. So we'll move those expectations. But Abdul, I appreciate you coming on, bro. Stay with us, though. I want to say Dawds is here with us. I want to talk a little bit of Arsenal because they kick off in 3 hours' time. How are you feeling, Dawds, about the game tonight?
I am up. You know what it is? I'm just waiting for the final result. Nerves are out the window now. I'm not nervous at all for the game because I know Man City are going to come in. They're going to do their business. Something to do with City and us going there. I checked our last 6 results at Man City. And every time we go there, and when it comes to Man City and Anfield, it's like, yeah, this season we've done something, but against Man City, they're just a different monster. And if it was against another top 6 team, I thought we would have had a chance. But against Man City, the best team, forgetting England, the best team in Europe, I'm not sure if we've got a chance against them. And my heart's telling me that we might do something, but I'm being realistic. I'm waiting for that 3-1 City. But if we do something, this will be the greatest win.
What do you think should change, Dawood, for you to get a result? What you think should change?
We can't play the way we've been playing for the last 3-4 games. There's no way we can't go toe-to-toe with Man City. If we go toe-to-toe with Man City, we've lost the game. We need to change the way we play. Either that's changing our formation or changing our style of play. Because if we play the same formation, 4-3-3, match them, man marking each player, they'll rip us apart. But if we switch, for me personally, I'd switch to a back 5 and be more pragmatic against them.
So it is on the manager then. It's on the manager, on Arteta.
Well, Arteta said in the interview that he knows Man City's strengths and weaknesses now. They've been working on Haaland's strengths and weaknesses. They know. So if they're going to play a high line, man marking each player, that's playing to Erling Haaland's strength. The balls in behind from Kevin De Bruyne, the best defenders can't defend that. So if the best defender can't defend that, do you think Rob Holding is going to be able to defend against Erling Haaland? No. So for me,
I think you guys are like, I understand because we have Maguire. So when Maguire comes in, it's a different story. But we lost to the game against Sevilla because yes, Maguire made a mistake, but David De Gea also made a mistake. Our attackers weren't on it at all. So Rob Holding isn't your only worry. You've got to worry about, will Saka Martinelli turn up today? Will Jesus actually score a goal today? That's what you've got to worry about as much. Will Partey try and flick the ball over someone's head? I know Rob Holding is an issue. I'm not going to say that he's not, but it's an entire team thing you've got going on here.
Yeah.
Your entire team are feeling the nerves. Your entire team are letting Man City get into their heads because they're watching the results. They're watching performances. They're like, oh, crap. You know why Zinchenko cried against Liverpool? Not because he was sad that they've just drew a game, because he flipping knows what is coming for them. That is why he was crying, because he's like, flipping out, crap. We are about to let these men back because he's been in that team. He's been in that team. He knows the environment that they're going to be in now. They're in flipping go mode. They're in a hunt mode. They smell blood and they're coming. So your entire, not just Rob Holding, your entire team needs to be switched on. It needs to be switched on, not just Rob Holding.
I know, 100% is. These players, they've worked so hard all season to become first place. And this is just one game that they need to prove, especially to us Arsenal fans, what they've been doing. Because if we go there and then we go with that defeated mentality, or City are better than us, we're going to lose against them, they're going to turn us apart. We need to go there and have that mentality where Bakay Saka needs to have the mentality where, okay, Ake's not playing. I'm against Laporte. People are calling me a star boy. People are calling me the best winger in the world, in Europe this season. If I can't perform against Laporte, then I've got no other chance. Martinelli against Ake or Walker. Akanji, yeah. He needs to prove why he's been our star player, Martin, on the left wing. Gabriel Jesus needs to have that mentality where, you let me go. You didn't think I was good enough. I'll show you why I'm good enough to be playing for an elite club. So there's so many players in this team that need to prove why they need to step up. And this is the biggest game, some of them in their careers. And this could be like a change of mentality with the club and the fan base, where now we think we can go to the best team in Europe. We can turn up. If we can play against Man City and beat them, what's stopping us playing against any other team in Europe?
Dude, I've got a question for you. Lee on Straight Facts said, if you lose badly today, that you will not win a game for the rest of the season. So that's what, 7 games potentially?
6 games, yeah.
I'm just asking you, what happens if you lose tonight? What happens to this Arsenal team if you guys lose? Where do you see you guys going?
If we lose, we lost against the best team in Europe. We've lost. This is like, it's not losing against a team we're expected to beat. I'll be devastated, but I'm not going to be an Arteta route. I'm not going to say we failed. I'm not going to say all these outrageous things just because I want high standards I want high standards for my club. But the fan bases that are coming out and saying that if we lose against Man City, we're not going to have the same opportunity again next season. If you think that, you haven't been watching Arsenal, you haven't been watching these players.
Listen, I'm happy that you will do that. But my question was, what do you think Arsenal, your team, will become after a loss? Not what you will do, because I know what you will do.
Yeah.
You'll back the team to the hill, and that's good. That's
but these players mathematically can still win the league. Even if we lose against Man City, these players need to have the mentality where let's win the rest of our games. Man City can lose against Brighton, can lose against Brentford, can lose against Chelsea, where there's still hope. But it might be a 10% hope, but still hope also to win the league. So even if we lose against Man City, there's a 10% chance. I'd rather have a 10% chance than the other teams in the Premier League that have got 0% chance. So, yeah, I'll take that.
City aren't losing to Chelsea.
I think Terry's muted.
Oh, yeah, sorry, boss. I
you're
did that
muted.
for you.
Did you mute
Yeah.
me? Sorry, yeah, sorry.
Yep.
I want to ask Mo a question here. How many more times do you think this Arsenal team has it in them to have a lead, top 4 lead, throw it away, title lead, maybe throw it away, until until maybe Arteta runs out of chances? Do you feel like that will happen this time, or do you still think there's lives left in him?
No, I think they will still lives left in him. I think this team is good enough to challenge, to still win games this season and next season to challenge. The question is not only about Arsenal, it's about Man City, how good Man City will be next year. But I think Arsenal, look at them. They are very good. They need 1 or 2 more signings, and they will have the depth to compete on all fronts next year. I really applaud Arteta that he believed in these players. He did not change his way of playing football from the first day. He was trying to play this. We didn't see it as fans. We didn't see this. We didn't see this coming. And I think this team is good enough to challenge next year. Even if they lose today, by the way, they still can go and win the rest of the games and show the world that they still have life in them. I don't believe this narrative that if we lose today, it's done, it's over. There's like 7 games after this.
Oh, no.
His internet just completely dropped off. Look, and I asked the question because I think that I don't agree with Lee. I don't think that Arsenal will fail to win a game. I don't think Arsenal will fail to win a game for the remainder of the season if they lose tonight, even if they get battered tonight. What I do think will happen is there will be more pressure on Arteta next year. They will improve the team. I think they'll challenge again next year. But when you start moving into year 4, year 5 at being at the club the size of Arsenal, that's when the expectations are start winning us leagues or Champions Leagues, or at the very least going right to the end. Otherwise, then you have to then look elsewhere. And that isn't I don't think that's unnecessary pressure on Arteta. I just think that's what all of us would do at our clubs. You know, in 2, 3, 4 years' time, if Ten Hag isn't getting us into title races, we will have to look at a new manager. This is simple and straightforward as that for me. So I go back.
I wanted to ask a question because I heard that maybe. Does anybody think that maybe Arteta, if they don't win the league this year, took this team to the max that he can do, and they need another manager now to take them over the lines? As someone like Pep, there's someone else.
No, I don't. You know, I don't. I actually.
You don't. You think that Arteta can be that top manager that takes them to the next level?
I think he's earned this season the right to get another go. At the very least, one more season with good investment in the summer. But this is where Arsenal fans need to hold their owners to account. If they come second, I would expect to, a Declan Rice, a Caicedo, they're looking at sort of Zaha maybe coming in, but they're also looking at going back in for Rafinha. So they went out and bought Rafinha in the summer. They went out and bought Declan Rice. They're going by another top centre back as an example, maybe another top fullback, and they back him. I think he could this year. If they do, a lot of Arsenal fans haven't said it. They have crumbled in these last few games. And I think that's a combination of the players being young and inexperienced and the manager being inexperienced. But I think he's well worth giving another go to. However, if they invest another £200 million in the summer and they don't do as well next year, then I think your question holds a bit more water, and they have to look at it and go, do they need somebody else? That's my view as an outsider. Anyway.
But Alex Ferguson took 6 years to win, right, guys? Alex Ferguson took from 86 to 92. I know that it's back in the days the football is different. However, he is improving Arsenal. But again, does he have the experience to be that guy? I'm not sure. I have seen the improvements. I've seen Pochettino do the same, guys. That's my
Oh, come
worry.
on, come
No,
on.
Guys,
no.
Come
Dawood,
on.
It's not a
Dawood,
point.
let me
No,
finish.
you
Let
can't
me
compare
finish.
Pochettino to
Why?
Arteta.
Why? Why?
There's
Dawood?
no way.
Dawood,
There's
why?
No, he has
the
a
standards
point.
of football is completely different now. This one second. We're facing against the best team in Europe. Okay, Pochettino was doing it against Leicester City. Okay, this is completely different. Okay,
Hang on,
But
you
the
were
lev-
doing that
Dawood,
against Leicester
but let
City.
me answer you. But the level of football changed as well. So everybody went up. So at that time, by the way, nobody won the Premier League 2 years in a row. So the level for you to be at that level, you didn't need to push the players that much. So we don't know what Pochettino could have done. Remember, Pochettino reached the final of the Champions League, same as Wenger did in 2006. So it's and Pochettino at the end failed to get him over the line. Even though he improved a lot of players, he's the one who improved Harry Kane and all these players. So for you to say they're totally different, I see similarities.
No,
if he
yeah,
can push you, if he can get you over the line.
No, the thing is, the reason why I agree with that point is not because he hasn't won trophies, because we all know he's won the FA Cup, Arteta, and he's won the Community Shield. Like that's good. But I have a feeling that if you don't win the league this year, Arsenal fans will still accept a title race next year with no trophies. Next year, you have to win a trophy. You have to win at least the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup. Champions League, listen, it's hard. It's hard. If you fall into the Europa League, you have to win the Europa League, because you can't keep doing this cycle of we're challenging, and then we win nothing because we don't take anything else seriously.
Yeah, I think the Fergie example is a good one. There is a little difference between in Fergie's era, though. One, Fergie I did see someone on TalkSport yesterday say Fergie never did it in another country. He literally did it in Scotland and beat Real Madrid in a major European Cup final. But Fergie wasn't a coach; he was the manager. Fergie's job was a combination. Managers don't do what Fergie did anymore, or Wenger did. Fergie was the head coach, but he was also the sporting director. So Fergie was building the infrastructure internally at the same time as developing the team on the football pitch. And there's always rumors that he nearly got sacked, and they were played down at the time, and they've been played down ever since, because they knew what he was building in terms of the academy, and that was a bigger focus at the time than directly winning on the football pitch, although they were trying to do it. I'm not suggesting that Arteta shouldn't be given more time. I'm simply stating that questions, if he goes backwards from this point, questions will be asked of him, there's no doubt. However, it's going to come down to Arsenal and their fans to a degree, because we know that boards make decisions based on fan opinion and popularity. He's got to now keep them in and around title races. And I think what he's also got to do, Arteta, which will really give him more time in terms of winning, is do well in the Champions League. Because Arsenal got to the final in 2006.
Yeah.
They got to a semi-final. Obviously, they got to the semi-finals that year. Then they got to the semi-finals. I mean, I think it's only 3 semi-finals Arsenal have been to.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
It's two.
That must be 3. That must be 3, because I swear Chelsea knocked them out.
2 plus a final. 2 plus a final, guys.
Yeah, so that means they've been in.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. No, I get what you mean.
Sorry.
You're both right. I actually knew what you meant.
Yeah. Sorry.
They've only been to 3. But let's say next year he comes third, but isn't really in the title race, but gets to a Champions League semi-final, wins the League Cup. Suddenly, then it won't be called the Carabao Cup, by the way. I think that gives him time. He needs to be winning trophies, but be doing well in the tournaments. And I think they'll give him time. I just think that's the way it's going to go at Arsenal. But you can't go backwards. You can't finish 25 points off the top next year and go out in the round of 16 in the Champions League and not win a domestic trophy. I just think Arsenal Football Club, their standards are too high for that, in my opinion. But I could be wrong.
Yeah. Terry, when it comes to Mikel Arteta, he's probably got higher standards than most of us when it comes to as Arsenal fans. He's been saying, even when Arsenal fans were laughing at him, rival fans were laughing at him, when he said that when he signed Willian, he said to Willian, in the next 2-3 years, I want to win the Champions League. So he's got high standards. Arteta is not the type of guy where he's saying, I'm happy with top 4, I'm happy with just a trophy here and there. No, he wants to be back. He wants to be on the same level as Man City, challenging for every single trophy and competing for every single trophy. So when it comes to us Arsenal fans, Arteta has brought the standards so high now. We're expecting now, as Arsenal fans, to go next season and challenge for the title. Before, we were happy with top 4. We were happy just to get a FA Cup here and there. But now he's actually brought the standards up where we now, as Arsenal fans, we're arguing between each other where, can we win the league title or not? Or can we challenge for a trophy here and there? And I just want to say one more thing. These players when you were saying about we're just going for one trophy. The reason why we've only gone for the Premier League this season is because it just came out of nowhere. We didn't expect to win the Premier League. So the expectation to win the Premier League only started in the past 2 months, where we thought, is it even worth going to the further stages of the Europa League or the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup if we've got a chance of winning the Premier League? So, and we haven't got the squad depth. Look at it now.
He's just raised the standard. You just said he's just raised the standard.
Raise the standards, yeah.
You just said he's.
And then you're saying it's unexpected.
But
Which one?
No, as in winning the Premier League wasn't expected.
Mo's not on my point. He's on a different point. My point is this: how can you say he's raised the standard, but then say, "Oh, is it worth going far in the cups? Is it worth?"
Because he's looked at his. No, it does make sense. It does make sense because he's looked at the team. He's looked at the squad
or not. No, squad depth or not. You can't say your standards are up here, and then when you lose in cups and trophies, which you need to be winning, be like, it's okay. Because where's this raised standard that you've got? It makes no damn sense.
Because he's looked at the team. He's looked at the team, and he thought, why is it worth sabotaging the team to go win the Europa League if we can win the Premier League? It is because we faced against Sporting.
How is winning football games sabotage?
Nah, because we faced against. Listen. We faced against Sporting Lisbon.
Every game to get to win a trophy. How is you're saying winning a football game is sabotage? How is it sabotage?
No, I didn't say that.
No, that's what you're saying.
No. As in, is winning the Europa League worth more than actually trying to win the Premier League?
No, we know it's worth more than that. Winning both, bruv.
You can't. That's what I mean. We can't do that this season. We cannot do that this season.
Let me just jump in for a minute, but hindsight's lucrative. If you guys finish 1 or 2 points off the top, I can buy the argument. If you collapse from this point and end up finishing 10, 12, 13 points behind City, then you should never have rested for the Europa League. When you take those risks, you're judged by the end result, not the rationale to a degree. Man United went all in for every tournament we were in. We tried to do as well in the league as we could, and we went for every cup competition. If we burn out in this last month and don't make the Champions League and lose the FA Cup final, it's a failure. Even though I think he's done the right thing by trying to win everything, at the end of the day, you are judged based on your results, not your intentions. And there's a very famous line from one of the greatest films ever made. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, Morgan Freeman, his character's called Aziz. He stands up on this big platform and he turns around and says, like, there's no such thing as a perfect man, just perfect intentions. And the intentions are right, but you're not judged on your intentions. You're judged on your results as a football manager. So I get where you're coming from, but you have to be in this title race right to the end. Otherwise, it was a mistake. Because what would be better? Second place, no trophy, or second place in the Europa League?
Second place, and you win the Europa League. In hindsight, obviously, you could say second place.
Exactly, but every review done is done with hindsight. You review every football match with hindsight. You review every league campaign with hindsight around what worked and what didn't. You can't judge it based on, but he tried to do this, and if it would have worked, it would have been amazing. Because based on that logic, Man United didn't win 13 Premier Leagues under Fergie. We won 20. Because I could just count.
But look,
I could just count them as
I know. But look what the Europa League's done to us. As in, it's taken out our best centre back, is in William Saliba, and our backup right back in Tomiyasu. I said this. One second, KJ. I said this on the Sporting Lisbon game in the first leg. I said after the 2-2 draw, I said the positive out of this game is that we didn't get any injuries. Second game, we lost our 2 defenders for the rest of the season. The Europa League has stopped us from winning these games against Liverpool, West Ham, and Southampton. And now we're going in against Man City without our best centre back. We've got Rob Holding against Haaland. If we had Saliba, we would have had a chance of winning that game.
You know why you're wrong? Because the Europa League did not cause those injuries. The injuries caused those injuries. Those injuries could have happened in any game. So what are you going to say? Because someone got injured in the Premier League, you can't win the Premier League because the Premier League stopped you from winning the Premier League?
No. It makes sense. It makes sense.
I don't care what anyone says. You can say, yes, extra games cause extra risk by accumulation. Sure, fine. But the tackles that Eriksen had, the injuries that players have had all season, aren't because of one particular competition. It's because they just happen. It can happen at any point.
I hear that. Staffy's here with us now. What are you saying, Staffy?
Terry, I come in
Yeah.
with no peace today. I just want to put it out there. No peace intended for the Arsenal fans, especially. Last time I was on an Arsenal show, Terry told me that I offended a few people. Well, I'm here to apologize to absolutely nobody. Today, listen, Terry, today I woke up feeling something different. I'm like, I got this feeling before. I don't know what it is, but just today I just felt different. I'm like, let me check the calendar. What's going on today? Just scrolling, seeing what's going on. And then I see it's Arsenal versus City. And that's when I knew I'm on another job today. The football gods told me, Staffy, today you have another job coming up. Arsenal match reaction. You're going to have to be there. And I'm like, all right, I know my purpose for today. Igal, I want to see you there. You're my boy, but we're going to have to talk. And I'm talking all this shit before the game because that's how much I know Arsenal have no chance today. I gave my opinion all week saying, you know what, Arsenal fans, yay, back Arteta. You guys could do it. Believe in your manager. Yeah, that's me talking like a football man. But today I'm not here to be a football man. I'm a man on a mission. And my mission is to tell you today you're getting absolutely smoked. And I'll be on the match reaction. So if I'm wrong, you can smoke me later. It's not going to happen, though. I woke up, Terry. You know I'm in a different time zone, okay? So I'm like, you guys are 5 hours ahead of me. And I'm seeing all these motivational videos. Thierry Henry when he scored against City like 20 years ago. Olivier Giroud doing like the slide after he scores in the Etihad or whatever. Alexis Sanchez putting it past, what's his name? Hart. And I'm like, why are these guys up this early? Like, I didn't even go to bed yet. And I'm seeing 6 a.m. posts from Arsenal fans in England, motivational quotes and motivational videos. And we could do this, we could do that. And my man's over here sitting, making every excuse on why they lost the Europa League. Well, not making excuses, saying why they shouldn't have played, in the Europa League and the Cup and all that. These men are shook today. And I smell blood. Well, it doesn't matter what I smell because I'm not a City. But the citizens smell blood. And they've been saying it all season. They smell blood in the water. And that shark is coming. And it's getting closer and closer and closer. Terry, I had to watch Jaws yesterday because I wanted to get a preview of what the match is going to look like. And if it's going to be anything like that movie, it's not looking good for these Arsenal fans.
Bro, you're choosing the easy target. You're
you know
coming
what
here to choose the easy
No,
target,
no,
bro.
no.
You're choosing
I
the easy
love-
target.
I love my Arsenal
Nah.
fans.
I do want to say this about Jaws.
That is an embarrassment.
I do want to say this about Jaws. What happened in the end of Jaws?
That's true.
Who
Who wins,
That's
the
true.
shark or the people?
They decided to make a second one. That's right.
Yeah.
Terry just called Arsenal the people, guys.
Listen, this is Terry
We
showing
the
his
people.
Arsenal fandom again.
No, I'm just saying. I want to put that out there. I've got some super chats I want to do here. The first one says this happens when you get plastic American fans on a show backing Man City. Bro thinks he's in a Disney movie, so performative. Get over your obsession. Is what
You're bad, bro. You're bad. I don't care. I don't give a shit. I told you why I'm here.
I can't believe Latimer's Prime is here. It's like lockdown.
Prime!
Prime's in the house. Love it.
What the hell?
Sky King said had a feeling late season that Jesus and Zinni may be the ones that cost us in the running. Let's hope not. Arsenal need top class battling players. Also, they need that tonight. Mike here is an Arsenal fan. Says feeling that Arsenal will pull something out the bag. The fact we're underdogs could play a big part. Can anyone show me Zinni crying, or is it made up? But he had his hand in his head like this.
I want to know his expected cries for today.
There's no
Not his XG. Give me his XC.
Priest of Banter here says ready for this Arsenal funeral. We eating good is what Priest of Banter has got to say here. Remember, people, we are sponsored by One Football today. So at the end of this stream, go and download their app or refresh it if you haven't done so already. Best one-stop shop for football out there. News, stats, in-game, highlights, live Serie A games for free as well. So go get it downloaded if you enjoy a little bit of the Italian football. The difference between Pep and Mikel is that Pep is just coaching another great team. Mikel is an Arsenal fan hoping to emulate his mentor.
What? How is he an Arsenal fan? Do we know if he's an Arsenal fan? He just played for them.
He's a Barca
was
fan.
it.
By the way,
I know that.
speaking of content, have you seen Bleacher Report's thing they've done today, which is like the scene from Anchorman? Have you watched their cartoon, the fight?
Oh, with the fight scene thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's
haven't
new.
seen it.
I just saw it today. Very, very, very good indeed. Prime, how you doing, mate?
Delay.
Classic
I'm good.
There
I'm
we go.
good.
Ah,
Good. It's good to see
welcome
you on the
back.
stream. Not seen you on the terrace in about a year.
Delay.
No, I was in earlier in the season when we drew 2-2 against Spurs.
Bruv, that was the second weekend.
Yeah, listen, man's been using that Manscaped, bro. That's what it's been.
Yeah,
like.
so it hasn't been a year.
I've heard you've been busy. I've heard you've been very,
It
very
hasn't been a
busy.
year.
You've been busy with the ladies. What should I bring to the cookout later today, Terry? Well, listen, make sure you're on. I was actually going to drink tonight, but I've got that many more days left of my antibiotics because of my chest infection, which I've been suffering with a bit of health anxiety. Right, I'm not going to lie to you. My doctor, I think, hates me because he said to me, "Oh, it's a chest infection." I was like, "Oh, okay, bit of antibiotics, I'm fine." I said, "Is it viral though? Because if it's viral, you don't need antibiotics." He went, "No, it's bacterial." I said, "Okay, cool." And he said, "You need to be careful with bacterial chest infections." I went, "Oh, why?" He said, "Because the technical name of a bacterial chest infection is pneumonia." I went, "Right." And he went, "And if it gets worse, you may end up in hospital, and then you've got like a 30% chance of dying." And I was like, "Cheers. Thanks, mate," as I walked out. So, yeah, I can't drink tonight because I've got 4 more of these bad boys to take. But, yeah, come to the show tonight. Come to the match reaction. It's going to be fire. I'm absolutely sure that it's going to be fire tonight. Big up Latimus Prime is from Chris Ryan there. Prime was on a mission to Tatooine. Tatooine? Tatooine. I'm a Star Wars fan, so I can read that.
What's Tatooine? What's
Oh,
Tatooine?
don't worry about it.
Get
Prime.
out of here. Get out
Don't
of
worry
here.
about it, Prime. I've missed you,
Prime,
mate.
No. I don't know what. I don't watch
know
Star Wars. I'm not a child.
Tatooine is a place in Star Wars.
Yeah, it's a planet.
It's a planet.
That
yeah.
does what? That does
It's
what?
a planet, bro. What do
It
planets
exists
do?
it exists in the program. That's what it does. Yeah.
Oh, mate, I've
Look
missed
at
you,
gents,
bro.
look
Sorry, gents. I've got to open a jar. Right.
Hey, oh,
I better do it. I'm live on the internet and it ain't coming off.
oh.
Hang on. Can you imagine if I can't do this? Oh, it's terrible. My hands are greasy.
Oh,
My
you're
hands are
failing at your gender role, Terry.
Oh.
What's going on here?
I really can't do it. It's really tight. Now I'm really embarrassed. I'm really churning. No, it's not working. What is this anyway?
Pickles.
What are they? What are these? What are these? I don't know what they are.
Is that olives?
Let's see if I can. I don't know what it is. It really ain't coming off.
Okay.
Really like wedged up. No,
Is that doors?
Hey,
Tap the
I was
lid.
gonna pass
Tap
it
the
to you.
lid first.
It's live. I'm on the internet now. I thought it just come straight off easy. Right, you try and use my t-shirt and see.
Come on,
Right,
on, Terry.
Terry bottled it. Live
Yeah,
on
I
air.
bottled it. It's done. It ain't coming off. It's not coming off. It's one of them ones. It's one of them. You're squeezing it too hard. Is that it? Is that a thing? Pierce it with a knife. Bro, could you imagine me doing that and then stabbing myself live on the internet? You know what I mean? It's one of them ones. It should open now. I loosened it.
Yeah.
Terry about to be in the mud. Not really. It's a bit of a joke. But there we go. What are score predictions tonight, people? What are you going with tonight, Andrew?
I'm gonna go 4-1 City. Just for the FPL people out there that KJ dissed at the start of the stream. The triple captain in Ireland tonight. So 4-1. That's all right.
3-1, the same as the first game. 3-1.
3-1. Staffy, what you going with?
5-0.
To Arsenal, yeah.
Wow. Prime? Delay.
2-0 Arsenal.
2-0 Arsenal.
You so
Wow.
don't believe
Why
that.
do you think that?
Why not? Why not? You've been the best team in the league this season. Why not?
See, it's just...
I don't know whether to go. I could apply Arsenal judge and just go a poor result for Man City, but then I could give positive energy to Arsenal. I'm stuck with a rock and a hard place. You know what? 2-2.
Sensible.
Yeah, 2-2 draw.
Sensible.
I think we'll be good. Oh, Terry's actually really need to open that jar now. Flipping hell.
Yeah, it's getting
Raoul,
like
my brother, the moment of truth. Your final prediction until the game. If I see you do another prediction, I'm gonna be upset. Last one, you can't change it. What do you think is gonna happen?
I've never seen him so humble all season. I feel bad.
I'm looking at my United fans here, laughing, joking.
Don't worry about us.
As in like they've been in a title challenge for the past 5 years.
Don't worry about us. We're not in a challenge.
I want to say something, please. Let me talk.
Go ahead.
Okay. Let me have my say.
Go ahead.
You've all been smiling. You've all been laughing, bantering us. When you get into a title challenge, you can come chat to. You can be on the table. Okay. You haven't won the title in 10 years. Arsenal Football Club. These players.
Arsenal haven't won a title in about 20 years. What you want?
Excuse me, bro. Let me
Thank
talk.
you for saying it for me.
This club, these players tonight will show why they're generational players. Mikel Arteta tonight will show why he's not a kit man. He doesn't give out the cones. He's not an assistant manager. He is gonna be the best manager in the world for the next 15 years. We will prove. You guys, you think we're finished? You think we bottled it? Tonight we're gonna show why we've been top all season. We gave Man City a chance last 3 games, but we're gonna prove it tonight. I can't wait to see the boys go out there and win.
See, he sounds like a guy who's just opened a jar, Terry. That's
I like that. He does. Well, in fairness, I brought the jar back. The jar is back with us.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna. Oh, look at that! It's Jeff did it. I told you I loosened it. Oh, there we go.
Who said
Terry,
2-0, 2-0 Arsenal. Okay.
Terry, clip that. That guy just said all that. If it wasn't for me giving him all that shit 5 minutes ago, he wouldn't have gotten that chest.
You shouldn't even be on camera supporting Man City tonight's game.
Oh,
Man City might win. Man City might win the treble and do the 3P.
No. Listen, I'm not supporting Man
You
City.
should be on your knees hoping Arsenal might win tonight.
You know
you
what,
should
bro?
be begging
I would
Arsenal
love
to win the league this season, okay? Because if Man City win the league and win the treble, whatever Fergie did for the past 55 years at United is going to be irrelevant. Because Pep Guardiola will come to the Premier League in 7 years, will prove why he's the best manager. He's going to do it in 7 years.
Hang on a minute.
In 25 years, he's going to do it in 7 years.
Hang on.
7 years.
If Pep does a treble, that means what Fergie's done and what Man United have achieved is irrelevant. What does that say about Arsenal's history?
You call Alex Ferguson the best manager of all time. Pep Guardiola in 7 years' time.
My question. I'm not doing this. If it makes Man United irrelevant, I'll accept it. But what does that make every other club like you?
We've got one thing. That's invincible.
No. If Man United are already bigger than you. If we become irrelevant because of Pep, what does that make you? Answer the question.
We'd have to dissect every single word I said.
There we go.
We'd have to dissect every single word I said.
Headshot dead. Headshot dead. Straight up.
Well, all I'm saying is, United fans, you should be begging.
Don't listen. I agree with you on that, but don't come from my football club because that's just the madness. Do you know what I mean? That's the
You
literal
should have heard the
madness.
start of his rant, Terry. You would have. The speech was.
Yeah,
it was
very
I
good.
got it.
Yeah.
That'll be ready and clipped up. Someone said that's nonsense, Terry. I didn't say it. He did. It's Igal's twin brother. Do you know what I mean? Them two are out here.
Bruv.
No.
You and Igal should do streams together. Honest to God, bruv. It will be brilliant. It will be brilliant, bruv. I think it will be absolutely out of this world.
They'd call that show False Hope.
No. They'll call it the ways of the Sith, bruv. They can only be 2. Flipping Master and Apprentice. And then
I can't wait you guys see you guys face and win tonight. I cannot wait.
Will bring someone in, and then it like Star Wars.
Listen, I'll be on the match reaction no matter what.
Guys, listen, we will be live after the game. This stream will redirect you to it now. So go and hit the like button on the match reaction, bookmark it and save it ready for that. I want to say a big thank you to all of our viewers that have downloaded the One Football app so far during this show. About 50 of you have done it, which is amazing. Until next time, everybody, look after yourselves. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all.